Welcome back, everybody. It is the Resistance broadcast. I'm John Hoey. You're whoever you are. Thank you so much for joining us today. Being a part of the Resistance, we have a great show in store for you guys today. But first off, I want to quickly say thank you to everybody who joined our Patreon. We already hit our first goal, so whoever jumped on board and became a part of the Resistance officially, thank you so much. From Tier 1 for $2 a month to Tier 5, we love you. Thank you so much. If you haven't yet, go check it out. If you see something you like, hop on board. But like I said, we do have a show to do here today. As always, we have a lot of news to get into, including a lot of stuff about The Mandalorian. So let's bring in my co-hosts, James Bainey and Lacey Gillerin. Guys, what is going on? Happy Monday. How are you?
Things are going on. I'm doing pretty good. I know it's early on a Monday morning when people are listening to this, but as of recording, I just got back from trivia night with my friends. We all went out, had a big gang together, totally lost. Our team name is a Always Sunny in Philadelphia joke. We are The Gang Plays Trivia. I don't know if anybody's going to get that.
It's the title of the episode.
Yeah.
I got you.
I don't actually watch Sunny, but my friend does, so he named us. So
I wish your name was
Lacey,
Kitten Mittens.
Kitten Mittens. We'll do that next week. Do you ever play trivia? You ever go out and do things like that?
I don't, but I know a lot of random trivia. I went on a cruise a little while ago, and I owned all these old people, and they got really mad. And then I wasn't allowed to go back to trivia.
Wow.
I knew about Sputnik.
So
Russian
you
space
own them
station.
in like modern trivia stuff, like pop culture stuff?
Just regular trivia. Like, they were like, what's the name of the Russian space station that went up this year? And I was like, it's got to be Sputnik. And none of them knew it. And then they got mad at me, and someone was like, well, it should be nice to Google. And I was like, we can't Google because we're in Canada, so I don't have service.
All right, Lacey. And
you can Rogers.
Who were the 3 astronauts of Apollo 11?
Tom Hanks, Kevin Bacon.
Is that Neil Armstrong?
First of all, yes, that was Apollo 13, dingus, and that was even the movie. I know. So Neil Armstrong is one of them.
Buzz Aldrin, is that
That's
what we're talking
two
about?
of them.
No. Oh, yeah, Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah, I don't know what the third
Who
guy
cares?
is.
No one knows the guy who was a pilot who didn't land on the moon. His name was Michael Collins. So there you go, folks.
Way
but this
to go,
is,
Michael Collins.
Do not adjust your dials. This is the Resistance broadcast. We are Star Wars. We talk about fake space stuff, not real space stuff.
Yeah, I'm so excited to talk about Star Wars this week.
Yeah.
I'm excited. And thank you, everybody, for the stuff on the Patreon. It means a lot to us.
Yeah.
It's
been cool.
And thank you, Lacey, for running our Patreon page. Not only is Lacey one of our co-hosts on this podcast, but she also runs the Patreon page. Do you believe
I'm doing
that? She
okay.
runs that whole
I figured
thing,
out how to do GIFs. It's going to be great. But I can't wait to talk about pod racing, so can't wait for that audio commentary.
Yes. Yeah, so yeah, we do have to record a commentary for The Phantom Menace now that we hit our first
I haven't
goal.
seen this movie in a long time.
If you want to hear me bash Rick McCallum for 2 hours and then love all the other stuff, and I'm sure these guys have their comments and their ideas of what they want to talk about, get on that Patreon and we'll get that out to you guys. But guys, we do have a show to do. Like I said, a lot of news. But first, our poll results this week. Let's get into it right now. So far, we already have 2 live-action Star Wars series heading to the Disney Plus streaming service. Which of the 2 are you most excited about seeing? And yes, I see all of you out there who said, why not both at the same? Why can't I be excited about both? I'm just asking.
You have to pick one.
I'm just asking which one you might be a little more excited about. So,
John is William Dafoe on the bridge holding the cable car and MJ going, now choose.
Yes, that's right. That is right. And you guys did choose, and 2/3 of you, 67%, said you are more excited about The Mandalorian, and I think a lot of this voting was done before the casting announcements too. So I wonder if that would even have spiked a bit more. And 33% said the Cassian Andor series, and perhaps when more stuff comes out about that, you guys will get more excited about that. But were you guys surprised? I voted for The Mandalorian also. I always forget how I vote on these things. But were you guys surprised The Mandalorian took its two out of 3 votes?
So my first reaction to it was, well, The Mandalorian's winning because we've actually seen kind of something tangible, like they actually released a photo. But then that's a really stupid thing to think because we've seen so much about Cassian and K2 and his character and all this other stuff. So I would have to say that I actually am surprised that the Cassian Andor series wasn't doing as well as The Mandalorian. I don't know. Maybe it's because people just been talking about it a lot more, and this was so sudden. There, is there any chance that somebody saw the poll and was like, Cassian Andor series? What are they even talking about? Like it just hadn't quite hit them yet. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. But Lacey, did you expect Cassian to do about 33%?
I thought it was going to be more even, to be honest, especially because the Cassian news had just come out and everybody loves Rogue One. I voted for the Cassian series. I love K2. Too. I love Cassian. I don't know anything about Mandalore, if we will. So
the Mandalorian,
more like Borophil.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna love it.
I like it.
I'm wearing black today, so I'm a little moody. And you know what? You know what? I'm not crazy about Boba Fett, so I'm not going to be crazy about that series.
It's not Boba Fett.
It is, but it isn't.
It is, but it isn't.
My take on the voting results are that maybe people are getting a little fatigued on the backdating story stuff. What I talked about.
Prequel stuff?
Yeah, like what I talked about it last week, how it was kind of like, I joked, like, do we think Cassian Andor is going to survive this series? And it's, we already know he is, but The Mandalorian, The Mandalorian, we have no idea where that's going or who he is, and if he's going to be a hero, a villain, if he's going to live, he's going to die. It's very open-ended and exciting, so I think that might have triggered the more excitement element of it. But anyway, we have a best comment, and it's one of our MVP commenters, a Patreon of ours, Evan at Harris Ev9, who Lacey says Eve9. I don't know why.
I like Eve better. Hey, Evan.
But Evan said, Mandalorian for me, even though I'm pumped for the spy thriller aspect with Cassian, I'm much more excited to explore a new time period and new set of characters. Yeah. So bing, there you go. Pretty much what I was thinking. Mm-hmm. All right, so guys, that does it for the polls. We'll fire up another one today for you to vote on and then go out and prepare all your Thanksgiving stuff this week. I can't believe it's already Thanksgiving week.
I'm hosting Thanksgiving. Woo! The stress.
Oh, man. Well, we do have a show that we're going to be posting on Thanksgiving morning, so we'll talk more about that then. But now what we are going to talk about is the Resistance Report. James Bainey, we have a lot going on, so fire it up, man.
It's the Resistance.
All right, this week we got
don't seem enthused.
I tried to really get amp it
you
up.
You were like,
get it
you got this, James, and he was just like, eh.
It's like I just said, James Bainey, you're at the DMV and you're in 40th place in line, and that then he gave me his
and they're
reaction.
At 2 now serving 2.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Breathe in, breathe out. Resistance Report starting over. Guys, guess what? We got the best news ever. Mandalorian casting, not 1, but 2 confirmations of who's going to be in this show. We got Pedro Pascal from Game of Thrones, The Kingsman, Golden Circle, and Narcos. So mostly TV actor, coming to TV, keeping with the TV world. And then we got Gina Carano, who is a wrestler turned movie star, showing up in Deadpool is probably her most prominent role. Everybody really thought she did great in that. So we got these 2 characters coming in. John, I'm going to jump to you. Are these good castings? You know what I mean? Are these people we want to see? Are we glad to see talent of this caliber coming into the first Disney streaming service, Star Wars television show, live action? There's a lot on the line here. Pedro Pascal, Gina Carano.
So my first reaction is recognizable, both names to me, but when I look at their face, I don't pinpoint them to an iconic character right now. And I love that in Star Wars. We kind of touched on that in Will of the Force a week or so ago about, did we want a face that it looks like they're in Star Wars and it's not like, oh, there's Leo DiCaprio or there's Brad Pitt in Star Wars. So I like that element of it off the bat. Then digging into each one personally, Pedro Pascal, I just, breezed through. Is that the word? I don't know. All the seasons of Game of Thrones. I thought he was great. I thought he was very
braised.
Braised.
Yeah. I don't know. Braised,
like a
braised,
fine
whatever.
short rib.
It's like when you make up a word, but you say it in the context so people know exactly what you meant anyway.
Yeah.
So I skibble-booted through all 7 seasons of Game of Thrones, and I thought he was charismatic. I thought I could see where he's going to kind of go as this type of gunslinger character. And then I look at Gina Carano, who was not a wrestler. She was an MMA fighter. And
okay.
Like she can legit kick your butt.
She was like 7-0, and she retired at 7-1, and then she went on. She was
any professional wrestler could kick my butt.
Yeah.
Well,
they don't
I'm
need
saying
to be
in the
MMA.
sense of like I
No,
used to
I
work.
understand.
Okay, I used to work at
yeah.
WWE. That's not the same thing as MMA.
Yeah, but that aside, she's a real life ass kicker, and then she went on to get into acting, and she was even nominated for a Critics' Choice Award in 2013. The movie's escaping me. It starts with an H.
I feel like it's The Wire. No, Wire.
Apollo 13.
Yeah, right. The real story of Apollo.
11.
Castaway.
So I overall,
Toy Story
James, I
3.
dig it, and it's tough. I'm getting jabs left and right here from these guys. I dig it. I'm on board, and I'm curious. I think more names are going to roll out now, but I do think we are going to get some way more familiar names coming up in the weeks ahead. But I think the casting is going to just be rolling out now that we have the lead and our second announced.
Yeah, Lacey, I'm going to ask you, Pedro Pascal. Okay, so we have actually a face. But we still kind of are under the assumption that this guy's going to be behind the mask. Do you think that by giving this as like the first major casting announcement, that leads to believing that this character is going to be doing a lot of talking, a lot of helmetless talking in this series?
I think yes, because I've seen him in Kingsman, and I don't think he'd want to be behind a mask for a whole season of TV. I think it's a disservice to the actor. It's really hard to connect with a mask. Like, the only movie I think that gets away with it is Deadpool, but it's because it's so over-the-top slapstick that, like, he's using his whole body to give across his emotions, and they even have masks that show different facial expressions. Whereas this one, obviously, you can't. It's like a Mandalorian helmet, so... yeah.
Or Vader.
Or Vader, yeah, like... It's hard to have a connection with Vader. You love Vader. Vader's the best, but you're not going to have like an emotional connection with him. You have that connection with him when he takes it off.
Right.
So, I think they're going to have to take off the mask at some point. Maybe not a lot, but I definitely see maybe in an emotional scene him taking the mask off.
I agree. I mean, we're looking at 10 hours of content, and you're trying to build up this guy as your lead. You need that emotional character arc and that character build. So I think we're going to see him without his mask a lot more than we think.
And he's a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
Don't hide him behind a mask.
And he's a good-looking guy.
He is.
If he was ugly, leave the mask on him.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he is a good-looking guy.
I'm saying that.
I'm with you guys as far as Gina Carano. So we got her. She, I think, was used as well as she could be in Deadpool.
The toothpick?
Usually when you get these people that come over from wrestling, like John Cena or even Dwayne Johnson.
Why do you keep
She's
Yeah.
MMA.
Well, okay.
But it's
Ronda
very,
Rousey.
Ronda Rousey's a great example because she is terrible. She is a great example.
But my point is these people are coming over from a specific type of television and acting, or that type of world, and they're coming into doing this. They're usually not
Juilliard trained.
Exactly. Like, I don't know how to say it, but like that's not their specialty. They're trying to get into this because it's something of interest to them, or there's money in being more of like a movie star rather than like an athletic celebrity.
Sure.
So then they move into this, and usually there's not many people that can cross over very well, and she tends to be one of these people who are, but But if you're a good director, you want to make sure that you're utilizing these people as best you can, which is not giving them a ton of lines, but giving them the best of their best. Actually, another one is Drax.
Dave Bautista.
I can't think of his
yeah,
name.
he's
Dave
not over here
Bautista.
doing monologues. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He uses his just simple lines said at the right time for comedic timing, and he's utilized very well. But then when they need him to be, he can be loud and powerful and crazy, a fearful character.
Although he was amazing in Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But again,
Mm-hmm.
silent and strong.
Yes.
Is how they're utilizing them until they can get to that point where, say, for instance, like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has become a little bit more at trying to get into the dramatic stuff, and
The Rock
they
is
are
definitely
actually
the best
getting
example.
better. Yeah. So I think that's exactly what you can expect, and if her character is an ongoing character, then that gives her the opportunity to really work that in. So then when she starts doing movies or continues to do movies, then those have a good opportunity. She really worked on her trade on this show and then brought it to whatever movie she's going to be in next.
Right.
James, one thing to think about, if she is like a co-lead on this show, being that she was the second announced, let's just say she is, and assume that she may be introduced at some point, like halfway through the first episode or towards the end of the first episode, so that we're like, who the heck is that? Dave Filoni's directing the first episode. They've confirmed that. So it's up to him to kind of introduce her as a new character, with carrying the weight of she is, she's shown her experience acting, but and it's funny because you have Dave Filoni, who's never directed live action before, and a still sort of green actress, and it'll be interesting to see that maybe he can bring out the best in her and she could bring out the best in him. It'd be interesting to see if that if that pans out that way.
Yeah, which is funny because that you saying that almost makes me think that she won't be introduced in the first episode.
That's right. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
Because I think that's a lot. I mean, it's always possible. But
I could see her being a character that's like a specialty character that like he needs something or needs to go find something, and she's the person that he needs to find.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or a villain that maybe not like the main villain or something, but like someone who, like a Captain Phasma-ish. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
Like not really like the main person, but like they're there. Which is I'm pulling that from Deadpool. Like not the main villain, but the side character villain. But I want to talk a little bit about Pedro Pascal because I think as a group, like we haven't really seen him in a whole lot. John watches Game of Thrones, but nothing else. And the two of us have seen Kingsman 2 and nothing else. So he's kind of,
with spoilers, like if I talk about Game of Thrones, or is
I
it
don't
just
care.
like,
I know everything that's going to happen.
I don't care.
Or
and like,
that
I don't know, listeners
has happened.
care.
Has
There's probably some people who are trying to catch up.
let's put it this way. He's not going to, he's not gaming for the thrones anymore.
Wow, that's a big spoiler, dude. Whoa, spoiler alert. Holy crap.
Well,
I
noticed.
It's like
I noticed
John
you
just
spoiled
totally...
it earlier, John, when you said. John, you spoiled it earlier when you
I
said
don't want to say that
he
like
was.
Han is no longer Han Soloing, if you know what I mean. After the.
Well, John, you said earlier that he was great on the show, and I'm like, the show's still going on, so...
Did I past tense it?
Yes.
Yeah, you sort of past tensed it earlier, and I was like, well, he could be referring to when he watched
and tell
it.
John that he sucks at spoiling television shows.
Yeah, I got to work on my tenses.
Yeah. His character's still alive. They just fired him from the show, so he rode off into the sunset.
You got fired. You fired.
I personally, like I said, I don't know a whole lot about this guy, but I really liked what he did in Kingsman 2. I like that movie. I think it's great. Lacey rolls her eyes. John hasn't seen it, so he should just shut up.
I know when a movie's going to be garbage, and then I don't see it.
Yeah, you say that, but you don't see it, so you're like,
it was terrible. No, don't
and then you're, it's just as good as the first one.
Like
easily.
I saw Halloween recently because I knew it was going to be good, and it was good. So go see Halloween, the new Halloween.
Pedro Pascal's in the new Halloween.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
I learned that on piano.
John,
you know, surprisingly, that song.
I did. That's what I did. I went on YouTube and found out how to play.
That song is a little bit more complicated than I thought. I had to learn it one time when we did like a Halloween show in the band because I dressed up as a mummy and I came out. It was our intro and I walked out like a mummy and then I started playing the Halloween song and we used it as like our intro. But it was a little more complicated because there's all these like bass notes.
Guys,
and I was like, I don't know the chord progressions and stuff.
The opportunity to wear costumes on this podcast for Halloween.
Oh, damn.
Oh, I didn't even think about it. I went as Luke one year. Luke is Luke and Dagobah, and I made a little stuffed Yoda to go on my back.
That's pretty good.
That's
pretty cool.
I could wear.
I have a full Vader costume I can wear.
I used to have a slave Leia, but I got rid of it.
Are we in the second Resistance Report topic now?
Oh, yeah.
Moving on from the casting news. Anybody, you got anything else to add about this particular casting? John, we've heard some other rumors out there of other castings.
Yeah, so I mean,
Carl
just quickly on
Withers.
We've heard Carl Weathers' name thrown out there, which is a little strange to me. I've heard other things from other people about some familiar names that may come up for actors, but
that is the most bland statement you've ever made.
Yeah, I just
just say Mark Hamill. Just say Mark Hamill. No, I'm just kidding.
I heard, but I was also I can't
sworn to secrecy.
But Pedro Pascal, I don't remember if I said this on this or in our teaser clip, so I'll just say it, that like the guy just seems like a cool character, cool, smooth type of guy, and if he brings that to The Mandalorian, like I said, we're going to see a lot of unmasked stuff, and I think he's going to be a guy you kind of root for, even if he's an anti-hero type of thing, which sounds like he might be. So so far so good with The Mandalorian stuff, even though I wasn't pushing for this at all. But it's like Lacey often says, it's Star Wars, and I'm behind it, and we'll see what Favreau brings to the table.
Kingsman 2 6.
All right, well...
Sorry, what's next?
Yeah, it's great. All right, moving on to the next story. We had Billie Lourd, famously the daughter of Carrie Fisher, but she shows up in the Star Wars movies.
She's on
shows up in Force Awakens. Yeah, that's also something she does. She showed up in Force Awakens, showed up in Last Jedi, and it looks like she's also going to be in Episode 9. She sat down with Entertainment Tonight, and she was talking about, just her regular career and stuff, but somehow Star Wars gets brought up, and she seemed to mention, I've seen the script and stuff. She said, I got to watch myself because the Star Wars Police Department is going to come and get me, but it is incredible. I've read the script, and I've been on set. I was on set for like 3 weeks back in September, and it's going to be magical. I can't say much more, but I'm so excited about it, and so grateful to be a part of it. Star Wars is my heart. I love it. So these are pretty good comments. Again, it's that same thing. It's like it's an actor on like talking and promoting a movie that they're going to be in. Of course, they're going to say great things about it, but it's what we want to hear. And sometimes the thing is like if it really wasn't great and it was shaping up to be poorly, you might still get comments like this, but at the same time, people usually just keep their mouth shut. They just don't say anything about it. And when somebody, especially so close to like the Carrie Fisher situation, comes out and says like, I'm loving what they're doing, I've read it, I think it's all good, I think personally this is a good sign. So John, are you feeling the same way? Do you like these comments? Do you think what do you think she means when she says it's going to be magical? Like what does that mean?
I don't know. Everything I think about Episode 9 gives me a positive feeling, optimistic feeling. A lot of that has to do with J.J. Abrams and how I felt with The Force Awakens. A lot of that has to do with just my own mind just like going down the path of whimsy. Like I feel like I'm going to get like knocked on my butt with like just like awesome, imaginative, great, creative, and beautiful and heartwarming type of cinematography, direction, writing, storytelling here with this movie. And props to Billie Lourd for not using the word amazing. I feel like everybody says the word amazing, and I just get it's amazing. I hate that word. I hate it so much I never use it ever. That's so inside.
That's really amazing, John.
And I knew that was coming. So predictable, Lacey. Okay. Magical. I think what that could mean is what they're able to bring to life with Leia with a limited amount of actual footage they have. Mm-hmm. I like
that for sure.
I think they're going to push the envelope and really, I'm expecting to be taken aback and shown elements of Leia that we never thought were possible in this movie. And maybe they are going to be able to make it Leia's movie in a way.
And now, not in a way from Rogue One, where she turns around and you're like, that's not her.
Right.
It looks good, but not her.
And it's not going to be Leia like I did in my rumor review on
that was Leia.
Patreon thing.
It wasn't Carrie Fisher. It was Leia, though.
Right.
Sure.
It was Leia.
Yeah.
I'm just teasing you.
It's not going to be Leia with a lightsaber storming a First Order base like a rumor.
Oh, heard that one.
A rumor I smacked
with
down
Maz
in my
and R2
in my Patreon rumor review. So check that out if you're on there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's going to be. It's possible she lives throughout the whole movie, and it's possible that we see a lot more of Leia, and they're able to bring her to life using ILM, who's the best, and all those guys. So I'm just really excited. I know, like James said, she's not going to be like, guys, it's looking bleak. It's looking rough. Like, she's saying the right things, but like you said, she doesn't have to say anything. So hearing the word magical, though, it just makes me feel good. So I'll leave it there.
First thing I heard when I heard the word magical was, well, I immediately flashed back to my pitch for episode 9 script, which
Super
was
Vader?
No, not that. But it was creating a planet or an army out of like organic beings in space. And whenever I think of like a big army of mystical something, I think of it as being magical.
Are you talking about the space whales again?
No, not space whales, but hey, I'd be fine with space whales if they showed up. But think about that though. Think about, say we never got space whales before, right? And then all of a sudden there's like space whales and creatures and all sorts of things, and it's this big like epic thing. Like you could call that magical, couldn't you?
Yeah, I would call it dumb.
I don't know.
Space whales?
No, when I think of magical, I think of organic. Not like ships. I don't know. Anyway,
oh yeah, no, I agree.
That's just
I think of the Force. I think of the Force. I think of fantasy. I think of mystical stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like Chronicles of Narnia is like there's like animals fighting in their armies and stuff. Like there's something about the organic of it that feels magical, right?
I think she's honing in on the magical element of what they're going to be able to do with Leia. That's my guess.
Oh, I like hearing that. Yeah, Lacey, what comes to mind when you think of magical, and do you think that the Star Wars Police Department would actually arrest her?
I feel like I'm like on a street coming out of a coffee shop, and they're like, Lacey, can you answer these questions, please? I just got bombarded with like anxiety. I think magical. Playing off what John said, I think it's her saying they're handling this the way it should be handled. They're keeping us involved so we know what's going on. It looks amazing. I said this a couple weeks ago. Shut up.
It looks awesome, John. What do you want?
They said this a couple weeks. I said this a couple weeks ago, but I think that Leia's going to live through episode 9. I don't think she's going to die. Because it'll just be too much for all of us, I think. And they just want to keep it positive and fun. And as Clayton said to us a couple months ago, where they said, this is really about the fans. There's a lot of fan service. They're really doing what's right for the fans. The fans aren't going to want to see her die again. Guys, we're still dealing with it. Like, it's not okay. So I think she's going to live through this movie. I think it's going to be done really, really well. And what do I think? Do they think the police will come after her? Yeah, if she was to give away details, absolutely. You don't think these people all signed NDAs? I told you a story about my friend who has nothing to do with Disney signing an NDA.
Yes.
I can't even imagine the contracts they sign. Unreal.
I'm just gonna ask you all the questions that are clearly stated in her sentence. Like, do you think that Star Wars is her heart? Do you believe that she loves it? Yeah.
It's just funny to me that look. I appreciate people that are reporters and interviewers and you're trying to get that scoop, but people have to know that they're never really going to get any details. It's just going to be like, it's like really great. It's like really, it's a fun time. Like we're having so much fun on set.
Well,
like one of my least favorite things is on panels and like big like Facebook live chats, they always pick the questions of like, what's the most like embarrassing moment on set? Or like, what's the funniest moment that you've ever had? And they always give the same stories, and it's so boring. Like, they're never going to give you anything that's legit.
The best was, I think it was the San Diego Comic-Con when they were doing press for The Force Awakens, and Harrison Ford comes out, and everyone's like, yeah, Ford's back, baby!
Yeah.
And some fan comes up to the mic, and you know Harrison Ford is just kind of like,
hey, God. Man, what's up? Yeah.
So this guy's like, and I'm sure he's never been asked this question before. The guy goes, if Indiana Jones and Han Solo met each other, what would they say to each other?
Oh,
and Harrison Ford goes, hi, how are you? That was all he said. He's like, they'd say hello, probably. Reach out their hand for a handshake, you know? But I do like Billie Lourd, like, because you know how sometimes if you're the child of someone who's so iconic, you want to get as far away from that as possible kind of thing.
Yes, absolutely. She embraces it.
She embraces it, and I think that's so cool because it shows that she is kind of has her mom's confidence in her, and while Carrie Fisher had her flaws and her insecurities, she has like she knows who she is and she's confident in who she is, where she doesn't need to worry about that shadow, and that just goes to show how great of a mom Carrie Fisher was to her, and I just kind of dig it because the fabric of Carrie's still there in her daughter. Her spirit's still there, even though it sounds like she was only there for a few weeks. And if that's all she filmed, then maybe Connix, you know, has the similar role that she had in the last two movies, where it's brief and it's just kind of like there she is. She's still carrying the torch for Carrie, and that's it, and that's fine. But I don't know. It's a very small part of this thing, but I do like the fact that she embraces it, even though she's in that big shadow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey guys, this is a Resistance broadcast special alerts. Hope you enjoyed that Death Star blowing up there. Cool graphic made by James Bainey over here. We'll get to him in a minute. Guys, we got some news popping on a weekend thanks to Anthony Bresnikan of EW, who unleashed all this stuff about Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland and Disney World, opening in summer and fall respectively next year. So we got John Williams, the lifeblood of Star Wars. The composer wrote an entire score for the theme park and the planet Batuu. We got a snippet of that. I was kind of blown by it. The guy still got it. Then also we got videos of the Millennium Falcon ride, the Smuggler's Run, I believe it's called, and Rise of the Resistance, another attraction and ride there. So Lacey isn't with us today. Unfortunately, she's in New York. So right now it's me and James. James, you saw this stuff, checked it out. All the Bresnikan stuff about Galaxy's Edge. What was your first reaction? I know you're going to Disney soon, a little before the parks, but your first thoughts on all this stuff?
Yeah, so the first thing I did when I pulled up the video is I closed my eyes and didn't watch any of the video. I listened to the song, the whole song, and I pictured myself at a park, and I pictured myself walking through it and this playing around me, and it's perfect. I mean, it like literally sounds like the music that they play at a lot of these amusement parks. And there's like, it starts off and I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't know that this is Star Warsy yet. And then there's this one specific part that hits like, I don't know, it's like reminds me of like Han and Leia or something. It's something really cool about it. But it just sounds so Star Warsy. And yeah, like you said, he wrote the whole score. So there's like, I think like, I could be crazy. Did they say 14 other tracks or?
I didn't.
I think they just said many other songs. Okay, they might have just said many other songs that are going to play during rides and at other points, and maybe like when Captain Phasma comes out or something, you know.
And probably like inside, he probably has one for inside those cantinas that's specific for the Batuu cantinas. Like,
and I wouldn't be surprised at that. But the theme in general, it sounds like an amusement park. Sounds like you're gonna get, you're gonna hear it over and over and over, but it's never gonna get old like all these theme parks. There's a little Harry Potter in there too, but I think that's because there's the Harry Potter, you know, world at Universal, and when you go there, they're kind of replaying those same themes over and over. So,
which he didn't write new music for that. It was just like, here's the retread for Harry Potter.
Yeah, it's a good point. put together. So the songs transition and stuff. And I think they chose specific songs because they feel very amusement parky, if that makes sense.
I was surprised about this because I thought he was like 9 and done. So it's kind of like a pleasant surprise, kind of like an encore when a band's done playing and then the music goes out and some dumb people leave and then the band comes back and plays more songs. This is that for John Williams coming back to Star Wars here. I hope he records 100 hours of stuff and uses it in future movies, But what'd you think of the rides? I mean, well, first let me say about the music. When I first heard it, I didn't close my eyes, but I was like you, picturing walking through the park, and it felt like it was jumping around a lot. I wasn't getting the hooks, and I don't know if it's the same part you were talking about, but when the strings hit, it reminded me of A New Hope a little bit. Certain strokes of the violins and the cellos and all that stuff really brought me back to the old school score, which I liked. I thought it was good. I thought it was epic in a certain way. I know people overuse that word, but it was big, and I like that. But the ride, man,
it brought the gravitas.
The gravitas, yeah. The Falcon ride, man. This looks like you're going to be in the cockpit hitting buttons and flipping switches and stuff. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so it looks like the ride might start off with everything going completely black, and they just they highlight that button. They're like, the ride doesn't commence unless you push this button.
Yeah,
so push this button. And I mean, maybe that's all just the way they do it with the video and stuff. But no, it looks like it's definitely going to be interactive, and you're definitely going to get the vibe. And man, they have that. They have a shot that just is like the inside of the Falcon, like where the Jarek board, yeah, and all that. And I'm just like, I could stand there forever. I want to be able to take a day to just like wait until no one's on the ride, and then just like, how like sometimes you can get on a ride and you can just they call it like a walk through or walk on or something like that.
Yep.
I wouldn't walk on. I would just walk very slowly throughout this whole thing. I mean, I just stare at it. Like, I don't think it's ever going to sink in. Like, I'm on the Millennium Falcon.
Right.
I'm on the Millennium Falcon, which is crazy because you can go see that at yeah. You can go see it at other places too, but that was the new Falcon. That was Landis Falcon, which doesn't really change anything, but this is the ride, and it's going to be there permanently. And man, I'm just so pumped on that.
James, you know what you got to do in Florida, especially. It always rains at like 2:00 in Florida when you're at Disney World, and a lot of people leave the park because they think, oh, it's going to rain the rest of the day because they don't. Like half hour later, when the sun comes back out, the park's like 25% full. That's when you get on do those rides and do those laps again. So when I get down there, I don't know when we're going to go. My son's only a couple months old, but I'm gonna go right to Galaxy's Edge, and I guess you have to take a shuttle there. It's a part of Hollywood Studios, but it says it takes you in like an experience, like a shuttle that takes you to the spaceship, which brings you to Batuu, which is kind of interesting. Probably a tram or something with like visuals and that sort of thing.
Yeah, in which case too, we got a couple images, not of the inside, but kind of the hotel stuff as well. Yeah. A couple. I guess like artistic renditions. It wasn't anything physical. We did get some live footage though of the inside of the, what's it called? The Rise of the Resistance?
Rise of the Resistance. Yeah, it looks like you're on some sort of crazy detailed First Order base or ship or something.
Which is cool because, they have the Falcon and they're probably going to have a lot of things that are very good guy-esque, but I'd like to see like the presence of the Empire, the First Order, and be able to kind of interact with that stuff as well. I saw some droids there that look like, kind of BB-90 astromech sort of thing.
The mouse droid. I wonder if that's going to be rolling around as you're walking through.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, like stuck it on a track or some sort of like, that was pretty good. A track or some sort of, like recorded path that it goes on, and it it can't get close enough to people. That would be pretty cool. Or if they just had somebody watching it from like a certain camera or something, and it just moves along, and hopefully it doesn't hit any people or anything.
That could be quite possible, because they've made a lot of this very interactive. And I even heard something about, and this is a previous report, that the Falcon ride, you can fail your mission on the Falcon ride, and when you badge in to something else later, whether you go to the lunch place or whatever, they'll tell you about, oh, you're the guy who bummed that smuggler mission, huh? And they'll like tell you that you screwed up on the ride. That's insane, man. This is going to be an experience. Crazy.
Yeah. I'm really glad that John Williams did the music, because I think that music is going to really, and they released the theme. I feel like I'm going to walk into it already knowing the theme. You know, I'm already being familiar with it.
Yeah.
And then that alone is going to be kind of like when you walk into that Harry Potter world like we were talking about. You already know the theme, so you feel like you're in Harry Potter. Well, if they want to create a theme, they had to release it so that people could get used to it. Otherwise, you just walk in, you go, I mean, it feels Star Wars-y, but I don't know this song. And then most people only ever hear that song like once.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
So... try to get it as familiar with people, and then when you walk in, they're like, "Oh yeah, this song, yeah." So
let it blend into the lexicon of all the Star Wars music, and then also to your point, the overhead views and the aerial shots of it being built, like getting your eyes trained to where things are. Like, oh, the Falcon's going to be by that mountain, so I know when I get there to go to that peak, and like just to familiarize yourself. So when we all go, we're not all just like, no, I don't know where to go. I don't know what
just
to do.
like walk in and try to look for like an instructional map or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then everything's in Arabic, so we can't read it.
Yeah, exactly. Which he already, I guess, Bresnikan already decoded one thing that said it's something about a salvage yard or something. There's Arabic and stuff you can decode.
Yeah, in the video, I saw that, and I went through, and I was like, this kind of looks different. There's a couple symbols I don't recognize. Then I saw that he decoded it, and he decoded it incorrectly. Then someone came along and decoded it correctly, and he was like, oh, yeah, that seems more likely.
Right, and so they think it might be a nod to Sanford & Sons salvage yard or something like that. But
yeah, it's weird. It says Salvi, and then there's like a symbol that I don't recognize. And so I'm assuming that's like an and symbol, but I don't think we've ever seen like an ampersand in Arabic.
Imagine it was just an ampersand.
Yeah, but it looks like a 3. And usually the symbol that looks like a 3, I could be wrong on this, but it's like the AE sound. Like I can't think of an example that would use it, but like when letters are the A and the E, it's like its own symbol.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that's called. Usually that's when you see it. So I was like, I don't know what this is trying to say, but then they came together that it was Salvi and Sun, salvage, I think. Yeah. So
we'll see what that is. But I mean, anything else you want to add here before we wrap it up?
No, man. I mean, there's probably a lot that, like, if you go in and detail and deep dive into the video, we'll probably find some things. But I think this is all that they wanted to say. Here's the theme. Get used to it. Here's some pictures. Here's kind of some ideas of what we're pulling together, and get ready.
Yeah, guys, I mean, we're experiencing Star Wars. We're going to be in Star Wars, on a Star Wars planet, and now John Williams is going to be our soundtrack. It doesn't get much better than that. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick video. We're glad to be with you here, and we'll see you on our next podcast, video, whatever. We'll see you next time, kids. Bye.
And now back to my Tom Hanks impression. All right, guys, I think that's about all that we can say about that. I think
it was pretty amazing.
Well, that was my Tom Hanks. That's pretty much all I can say about that.
Yeah, right. Seats taken.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
That's
I know, but it's just the accent. Those are the in a Southern accent. I think seats taken, and I don't know what to do with my hands. Those are the two lines.
And whiskey from Golden Circle. All right, we're going to move on to our...
Like, that's cool, guys. Thanks.
Yeah. I'm sorry. They're really fun to say. I don't have an accent. I live in a neutral territory. Sorry.
I am going to wrap the Resistance report, and I am going to send it back over to John Hoey this week for the Scoundrels Rundown.
What? It's back again?
Push it! Remember that, guys?
Hey, guys. Right. So we're going to do a Scoundrels Rundown. That's what James Baney would do if he did the Scoundrels Rundown. He goes, yep.
Yep.
Are you quoting Boba Fett there?
Yep.
Dad told me he's here. All right, so guys, the Scoundrels Rundown is back. The Falcon is back. So let's do it together. 1, 2, 3, punch it!
Press the button.
Punch it.
We'll get it one of these times. All right, guys. So real quickly again, our Patreon is live. I'm pushing it again here. Patreon.com/Resistance Broadcast. Go check it out after you listen. After you listen to the episode, go check it out. We have 5 tiers starting at $2 a month, which equates to about 6 cents a day. We have exclusive content we're posting there every single day, including teasers to our episodes. I do a rumor review, weekly rundown where I slash down a bunch of crazy rumors that people are pushing as truths. Lacey's got some stuff fired up. James is going to be doing some stuff. We're very excited about it. And you also get to influence some of the stuff we talk about on the show. So as long as you don't say the word amazing, we're cool with it.
Who's going to be that person that comments amazing on everything? Who's going to be that guy? Or girl?
And someone's
man,
going to do
or
it.
lady. Or
guys, Solo is selling well on Blu-ray, better than people thought it would in comparison to its box office. It is not doing necessarily as well as The Last Jedi or The Force Awakens did, but it is doing a lot better than people had expected, and Disney looks like it may wind up turning a profit on this thing, which is a good sign for the future of this story. Now, whether they continue that in a second movie, #make Solo 2 happen, or they like what they're seeing with these shows, and maybe we see a Solo TV series or something like that. So either way, Solo selling well on Blu-ray and digital and all that stuff. And I know I bought my copy, you guys bought your copies, and some of you out there bought several copies. I saw people.
I still haven't seen it actually.
Crazy. So anyway, our final story in the rundown: Star Wars Celebration tickets are almost gone, and maybe by the time you're listening to this, they will be gone. I believe only some Sunday and Monday tickets are left. We have our tickets, so hopefully you have your tickets, and we'll see you guys in about 5 months in Chicago.
Chicago.
I can't believe it's only
Chicago.
5 months away. We have some planning to do. We have to get to work here. Jeez, you guys are keeping us so busy with these episodes and all that stuff. Oh, jeez.
Oh, my God.
Guys, for the articles on all the stories we covered in the Resistance Report and this Scoundrels Rundown, be sure to head to StarWarsNewsNet.com every day, every week, every year, even leap years, all that stuff. Now we're going to send it over to Lacey to see which of our questions we're going to tackle from you guys in #AskTheResistance. Chewie, my friend, get us out of here. Yeah, you didn't put in the sound effect last week. What the heck was that about?
Because there's no motion. There's no image. Nothing.
All right,
Left
cool.
it out.
Well, it's time for Ask the Resistance. You guys got Star Wars questions, and we'll have some amazing Star Wars answers.
What have I done?
I've been wondering, what are midichlorians?
It's like Anakin. It's like Anakin killing Mace Windu. What have I done?
Is this #amazing the resistance? We're just making everything amazing now.
Broadcast. Okay. So the first question comes from Len Brown at LBrown0661. And he asks, will Kylo Ren use Force Lightning in Episode 9? You are welcome at Lacey Gillard for the Kylo reference, wink face. Len, thank you so much for mentioning Kylo Ren. I really appreciate it.
She's got to put on the voice, too. Get the heck out of here.
I'm just kidding around. Will he use Force Lightning? You know, I think it would be really cool if he did, but I don't think that's going to happen. I am a strong believer that he's getting redeemed, and I don't see him using lightning. That's a dark place to go. If John gets his way, he'll turn super dark and use it. So, John, if you want to answer this question a little bit, you're welcome to. But as my answer stands, and I thank you for asking this, no, he won't.
So Lacey, you don't even want to see that side of Kylo just for the coolness of it? Like, see him super powerful with the dark side, even though he may still get redeemed in your book?
I'd be more into, like, a situation where he screams and yells and everything just kind of shoots out. Like the Force kind of explodes around him and all these things, like, glass breaks and, stuff like that.
Super duper Kylo Renning is what you're trying to say.
So like Vader Revenge of the Sith after he
kind
got
of like
his outfit.
Force Unleashed video game, but not
Yeah,
without like killing
I was
people.
trying to steer away from that,
Without
but yeah,
killing
that's
people.
kind of what people like, yeah.
Not pulling planets down and Star Destroyers out of the sky. And,
No, but
and
I
crazy
think
stuff.
there's something to say about, one of the rumors that was floating around months ago is that people thought like, oh, what if Rey killed her own parents out of anger because she like blew up their ship? Like that stuff to me, I find that cooler, like blowing stuff up or like destroying objects than shooting lightning out of my hands. But that's
Yeah, you like the telekinesis aspect,
right, like
to
the
Force.
X-Men type stuff. But I'm not a big lightning person, personally.
Yeah, I don't like. I don't
Not
like
a big
I really
You don't like the thunder
big
or the
fan.
lightning?
Not a big fan. Not a big fan of lightning.
I don't like the whole. I mean, we could probably talk about this more later, but I don't like the
Yeah.
idea of people suggesting Rey flirting with the dark side stuff because I really think they're trying to preserve her as the hero. And
I totally get that, but you have to at least acknowledge that she does have an anger problem.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's something we said we have to talk about on the
Right,
podcast.
because she
but
taps
yeah,
into
more.
it in The Force
Yeah.
Awakens. And I mean, there's a moment where someone had pointed out recently on Twitter. I apologize to all these people that I always mention the stuff they bring up, and I don't do it on purpose. That when she went to go sell BB-8 in The Force Awakens, she had this moment of like, I can't do this, and it's because she had always known that her parents sold her off, and that was the first hint at
Didn't
it.
James post that?
I was gonna say, yeah.
James, I retweeted you.
I'm sorry. Lacey's saying she's sorry she forgot the guy who's sitting right above her right now on our
Yeah.
on our YouTube.
Do you know how many
didn't-
things I look at every day of Star Wars? Like, I can't keep up with all the theories.
I didn't come up with that. I saw that on Reddit and I thought, oh, this is cool, and this kind of like backs up this
I read
theory,
it on
you know.
Reddit.
But I reposted it to Twitter, and I'm sure you may have seen it.
I think I
from
retweeted it. So thank you,
my
James.
post.
Thank you
So,
so
yeah.
much, James. All right, next is can we go into the next thing? Is that okay?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
cool.
fine. Yeah, I was just gonna say that I like the idea of Kylo Ren using Force lightning. Hadn't thought of that, and I'm glad that Len Brown brought it up.
Thanks for your question, Len. Next is Darth Hurricane, and they ask, speculating responsibly, as John said, speculating responsibly, if there is to be a significant plot twist in Episode 9, similar to the, quote, I am your father moment from Empire Strikes Back, what do you think it could be? James, you want to tackle this one?
Not really. So there's two things here to play, and the first one is that Star Wars in this day and age, I believe that just about everything has already been thought of. Like we've pretty much thought of just about every angle that we possibly could with this. So coming up with it is like I can't think of anything that they could do that would be significant and crazy. So
There has
I feel
to be
like
an
I'm
outline,
stealing.
too. Like, maybe the script wasn't done, but there has to be an outline of where these characters were going to go from, like, years ago.
Yeah. So one of my thoughts was, okay, so what's a fairly new theory that maybe a lot of people don't know about, and it wasn't really that popular when JJ was writing the script, and I hate to say it, but they could go with the clone thing.
No.
I get it. I get it. I'm just saying.
I quit the podcast.
No. Look, I'm not saying I want them to do that. I'm saying what is something that they could do that would be a significant plot twist. And I think revealing that somebody important is her parents wouldn't be that big of a plot
Her
twist. We'd all
parents
go,
don't
yeah.
matter.
So no, I know, but I'm saying I think people would go, saw that coming. Do you see what I'm saying? Or some sort of other significant thing, like either Kylo is redeemed
Is
or
this
whatever,
real
and then people are gonna say,
What's happening?
saw that coming. But like I'm trying to think of like what's a theory that's out there that there are generally going to be people sitting there going, okay, I didn't see that coming,
Even if it's absolutely horrible.
I don't know. I don't really care. I'd like to hear somebody like totally give me the reasons why that would ruin Star Wars if they went down that route.
If Rey
But-
was a clone?
Yeah.
Did you see my Patreon video by any chance?
No, I did.
It's okay.
I
I
watched
didn't
it,
remember
but like,
that you tweeted something, so it's kind of fair game.
yeah.
If you want my take on that, watch that video.
Look, this whole question is based on the premise as if there is a significant plot twist that's supposed to be as crazy as the Empire Strikes Back one, which I don't think is going to happen.
Yes.
So if they are going, they're like, what could we write that is really going to blow people's minds? And they're going to be like, this is completely out of left field, but it'll be cool because we'll explain it and it'll be great. Like, I don't know. That's something to me that is like, I'm going into the movie thinking there's no way Rey's a clone, but then if they do it and they explain it, I'm going to be like, that was wild. And I definitely didn't expect that. And I don't think most fans going into the movie, not in the Star Wars community, are even going to like remotely think that's a possibility. But hearing of some sort of like clone connection to Palpatine or something, who knows, could be a way to kind of tie everything together.
James, I think you missed the first two words of this question, which were speculating responsibly.
No, because that's exactly what I'm doing, because if it is true,
Lacey
I'm down with
it in the notes just now.
But yeah, no, she did. But I understand that that's likely not it. If I was holding on to this and I said, no, it has to be this or nothing, that's not speculating responsibility.
And also
responsibly.
I say speculate like irresponsibly. Speculate however you want. Just if what you are speculating doesn't happen, don't be a whiny punk about it. Like,
well, that's speculating responsibility. I keep saying responsibility. That's speculating responsibly.
Drink responsibility, folks. Don't drive home.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
We'll come back to this another time. But James, you had some.
You're reading the question.
You had some valid points, James. No, I felt like I was being kind of mean by cutting you short, but I understand what you're saying. Next is Adam Odell at Odell Adam. Hey, Adam, what's up?
Hey, Adam. Odell Adam.
He changes his handle like every day, this guy.
I know. I gotta get a Christmassy handle.
Can you do that? Can you change the at part?
Yeah.
No. Yes, if it's available.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
You can change it if it's available? You can change it once.
You can change it as many times as you want, as long as it's
I think there are
available.
multiple changes. Yeah. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna.
Well,
start,
James Baney's
Lacey,
taken.
I apologize. I'm going to start a Twitter handle, Myra Trunk with a 5 at the end, and like make it look like James's profile, and then just be a total jerk to everybody on Twitter, and then see what happens.
Just be
Myra
like,
Trunk 5.
Kanan is the worst.
Yeah.
Clone Wars are the worst. I
Yep.
burn Star Wars books for fun.
Right. Episode 9 awful.
The canon and lore don't matter.
Right. Space whales are bust will be like the tag.
Wait, are you trying to make it like things I don't say, or trying to make it like things you guys do say?
No,
I don't know. Yeah, you're right.
It would be half and half. It would be stuff that you're for, but then at the same time not. It would be like a fake James Bailey.
John's like trying to make fun of me being like, oh, the canon doesn't matter. That it's like, that's the stuff he says all the time.
Lacey said that. I didn't say that.
I said that.
Oh, well, whatever, yeah.
Anyway.
I said space whales are bust.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to make a sticker of that.
Space whales
John,
are bust.
Space whales are bust? I'll make it. That sounds great.
All right.
All right. Hey, Adam. What's up, buddy?
What did
Adam.
Odell Adam say?
Adam, he asked us, will Leia die in episode 9? Whoa.
We're talking about this.
Right into it. I lean
Right
towards
into
no, thinking they are going to do something like they did with Paul Walker in Fast and the Furious, parenthesis, not necessarily at the end of the movie, parenthesis, maybe fly off in a different direction in her ship and jump to hyperspace. We just talked about this, but John, you wanna chime in here?
I thought
Again?
Adam was gonna say fly off in a different direction, like she just gets up and like does the Leia point and just like flies off.
Like Mary Poppins it?
Yeah.
Yeah. She could.
Yeah. So Adam, first of all, Adam tweeted at us and he was like torturing himself. He's like, do I do the general tier on your Patreon? Do I do it? Because he no one would take advantage of that 60-second spot on this podcast more than him. He has a lot to say and he usually makes really good points. So
Except
Adam,
our patron Thomas, who's going to be a part of the
That's very true.
Patreon
Yes.
podcast.
So,
Yeah,
Thomas,
yeah.
thank you. Thank you so much for being our first general. So, Adam, so what do we got here? You lean towards no. I lean towards no, too. I kind of thought that Leia may die just because of the lack of footage they have, and they may force ghost her at the end of the movie type of thing, with Luke and everyone together. But then Lacey made a good point, and I kind of agree with that a couple of weeks ago. Like, do we want to see them kill Leia when Carrie had just passed? So I'm gonna lean. I'm leaning also. I'm not all the way falling over here, but I'm leaning towards no as well. And as we talked about before, like we're talking about magical and all this stuff. I really think, as James is leaning on our YouTube video tutorial here, trust fall. And
Lean right.
I think they will do a good job of bringing, as I said earlier, bring her to this in throughout this movie as much as possible, and make it. They'll probably put their foot to the pedal to the gap floor, as they say, and put as much budget money as they can into making Leia look as good as possible, knowing that this is the one shot for them to pull it off. So
I think the world sucks enough that we don't want to see one of our heroes die.
Yeah, I agree.
Again.
And so, will Leia die in episode 9? Right now, Adam, I'm leaning towards no, so I'm with you there, buddy. Thanks for the question.
Awesome. And our last question comes from our buddy Ryan Simi at Ryan
Simi.
Scott 00.
I mean, at this point, just change your pronunciation, Ryan.
Simi. And he says, my wife's alarm every morning is Canto Bight from The Force Awakens. Or, not The Force Awakens.
Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. I don't know. It's late. Okay. Which Star Wars song/track would you use as your alarm? So I'm going to start only because I used to have a Star Wars song as my alarm, and it was Rey's theme. And then slowly but surely I started to hate it because it was my alarm. And I don't.
I see that.
Yeah.
I am not a morning person, so the do I'd be like, no, not again. So it's now Swan Lake, like a very subtle Swan Lake that builds, so it gradually wakes me up, like, because I'm such a baby when it comes to waking up. Anybody else?
Mine was going to be Rey's theme, just because another popular one, and I imagine it's what John is going to say, but you have to have an alarm that doesn't start big.
Right.
It's got to be a build. So you have to kind of set the precedent there. Like, if you're the type of person that would like an alarm that would be like, dun, 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 you know, like at the very beginning. But
My ringtone is Rey's
I don't know.
theme. Fun fact.
Yeah, I think that Rey's theme would work at least for a little while, just as kind of a slow build up. John, I think you should take it away with the answer that I think you're going to say.
I don't think that you know what I'm going to say.
I think I do know what you're going to say. Probably not.
Should I say it
Makes
first,
me think
or
you're
should
gonna
you
go.
guess?
I'm going to
Say it
guess
at the
that
same
you would say
time.
Jedi footsteps.
Oh.
It's not Jedi footsteps, first of all. It's Jedi steps.
The Jedi
Whatever.
footsteps.
He always says
Yeah.
Jedi footsteps.
Now
Footsteps
that's
of the
what I
Jedi.
call music.
That's my favorite
74.
track.
It was then,
Yeah,
my
Footsteps of the
Padawan,
Jedi.
when you only saw one set of Jedi footsteps, that I was carrying you.
Yeah. The footsteps on the Jedi path.
No, I
love that
If
track.
I had to pick one, it would either be the throne room from A New Hope at the end, or
Okay.
March of the Resistance.
Oh,
Really?
those
Yeah,
are
'cause I
very.
did- I
Those
just
are
feel like
wake
that-
up.
That would get me like kind of going, like time to go into battle, which means time to go to work.
I would do Princess Leia's theme as my alarm too. That would be good. I wouldn't do the throne room. I walked out of my wedding to that, and I walked down the aisle to Princess Leia, so I can't picture those as my alarm.
You walked into your reception to the throne room?
No, I walked down when we were married. I walked down.
I was going to
aisle.
pick that to be announced into the reception, but we went with the main Star Wars theme.
I wanted the Star Wars theme into my reception, but we won't get into the details.
I'll send you
I
a
did the
video of
Raiders
mine,
March.
I
and
did
you could just
Uptown
hate it.
Funk.
James, what'd you do?
Raiders March, Indiana Jones.
Oh, that's a good one.
You did?
Yeah.
Does Rachel like Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
But she doesn't like Star Wars.
No.
Has she tried?
Well, it's not that she doesn't like Star Wars. She doesn't like how much I talk about Star Wars.
Does she?
Yeah, neither
does she?
does
Does she?
But she
listen-
doesn't like care to see the movies or anything like that.
So
But she would for Indiana Jones.
Does she listen to the podcast?
No.
Neither
All
does
right.
Absolutely not.
All right. Good. Rachel.
That's why I can say anything I
Rachel,
want.
listen to me.
No, I'm just kidding.
Listen to me. Watch Star Wars with James. It means a lot to him. Thanks. All right. So
She didn't hear you.
No, not at all. All right. So yeah, I would say those two because it kind of, I don't know, get a little energy out of it. I gotta
I
wake
just
up.
I just thought for sure you would go with the one that like everybody has as their alarm ringtone. I hear it all the time. The steps where the Jedi feet go. That's
the Jedi
one
footsteps.
that yeah.
That is my favorite new track out of the new trilogy for sure, though. Anyway.
Jeez.
Thanks,
Anyway,
Ryan. And
thank
Ryan,
you.
Ryan is a patron, Lacey. Ryan is a patron.
He is a patron. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you guys so much for your questions. We really appreciate taking the time. If you want to be on the show and get a shout out, make sure to tweet to us at RBATSWNN on Twitter with hashtag #AskTheResistance. You can ask whatever you want. Whatever. We try to answer Star Wars questions, so if you want to send those our way, that's good too. You can send Kylo ones to me. Back to you, John.
All right. And you could send Chick-fil-A questions to me because I had it for the first time tonight, and it was delicious. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure you are subscribed to us on YouTube if you're watching. Hello. Here we are on video, every episode now on video, but we are still also, as always, on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify. If you guys are interested in being immersed further into the Resistance with our exclusive stuff, you can head over to patreon.com/Resistance
It's a Patreon.
It's an Akbar. That's what that was.
It is a Patreon.
Oh,
That's
Sam,
my Darth
Sam
Maul.
Witwer in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that was good.
I can't. Yeah.
No, can you just do your Taunton voice?
Okay, this is
It's the
Tauntaun
same one.
giving the URL to our Patreon. And
It's backslash, not /.
right, I'm sorry.
Oh, that was amazing.
So we have 5 tiers, $2 to $50. Become a pilot to a general. It's up to you, but we have a lot of cool stuff on there. I promise. Check it out. And thanks so much for your support, everyone who has already joined and everyone who's going to be joining. We appreciate it very much. For all of your news that you heard today, head to StarWarsNewsNet.com for your latest news, reviews, editorials, information, and more. You guys can find me on Twitter at Johnny Hoey and writing and editing over at StarWarsNewsNet.com pretty much every day. James Bainey, where can people bother you about bad movies and pretty good food?
John, you still have no right when you don't see the movies. You can't say they're bad.
Pain
I've seen
and
both.
Gain.
They're terrible.
Pain and Gain. James Bainey said that was a good movie. Pain and Gain.
Yeah. It's good. It's a good movie. You haven't seen it. Anyway, if you want to get a hold of me online, you can go to @MyraChunks. Possibly soon to change. I doubt that. But because I can't get the James Bainey, I can't wait to get my handle. But it's MIRAHTRUNKS. If you want to meet with me in person, trivia Wednesday nights, Dayton, Ohio, you know where it's at. That Daga trivia, come find me.
Oh my god! Oh my god, James!
What did I say? What did I say before the podcast about what? Like when it gets hot in the club, something get out.
You're so
I think
hip and
oh,
with it, James.
oh.
I can't keep up with
No,
how
yeah.
hip you are.
When it gets hot in the club, we gotta bounce or something like that.
Oh my gosh!
Yep.
Lacey,
Where can people find you?
Where can people reach you?
I can guarantee they're not going to find me bouncing in any clubs. As they
No.
Oh, so you're not going out at Celebration? What a disappointment.
Oh, okay. Yes, you
People
will.
don't go to clubs in Celebration. You go to a bar.
We go to a bar.
Bars are the clubs.
Bar.
Yeah, bars. Come on,
Bar.
21 plus, buddy.
Anyway, people
I'm
can
not
find
going to
me on
wash my
Twitter.
hand all weekend.
People can find me on Twitter at Lacey Gilleran, where I talk about Star Wars and support other people in the community. And you can find me also on Instagram at Lacey Gilleran, where I post some fun videos and photos and stuff.
So yeah, enjoy, and you'll see me on Patreon.
Yes, Patreon indeed. Lacey runs our Patreon page.
And researching space whales because apparently I know nothing.
Yeah, nobody cares about that.
They're great.
Nobody cares. Guys, that brings us to the end of the show. I hope you guys enjoy your weeks.
I love them.
On Thursday, we're bringing back the Kessel Run, guys. And what's Thursday? Thursday is Thanksgiving. So we are doing a show on Thanks-frickin-giving for you guys because we love you guys so much.
We're going to be so tired.
Yes.
Too much turkey.
And you know what they say? By the way, the whole tryptophan thing, folks, it's a myth. You're tired because you just ate too friggin' much. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to listen to the podcast as you're preparing your meals on Thursday, or if you're driving to your family's house or whatever, and you're going to talk about it. Be like, the Resistance Broadcast, you guys like Star Wars? You like Star Wars? Guess what? This podcast called The Resistance Broadcast, check them out on iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify, Patreon, all that stuff. And I guarantee
your cousins are going to be there. They like Star Wars. Tell them.
You will be the coolest person besides Grandma at the Thanksgiving table.
Meanwhile, Scotty's like, I have cousins.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Me?
What? I have cousins. He's talking to me.
Until then, guys, enjoy your weeks, and we'll see you Thursday where our Kessel Run is the funniest moments in Star Wars. And until then, see you around, kids.
Bye.